All right, now to this, CBS News Homeland Security correspondent Nicole Sganga is with us in studio to discuss details on President Trump's fallout with U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro. Nicole, good morning. Always great to have you
Good morning.
here.
Glad to be here.
This was slightly surprising to me because it's the president publicly from the Oval Office rebuking his own ally over the reflecting
And
pool.
not just rebuking, but saying that she folded like an umbrella, that she choked, that he was really, really disappointed. And we saw images of her leaving the White House yesterday with a suitcase, which of course fueled some speculation. Now, her job is safe for now, but here's what I can tell you. A presidential preference, especially when it comes to this reflecting pool, is not the same thing as admissible evidence. And so in this case, as more evidence came forward, as more witness testimonies, police statements, body camera, and notably internal communications from the contractors who did the construction on the reflecting pool came to light, it became very clear to prosecutors that they could not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this was Davy Hearn and that the intent, notably, was there. Now, any indictment is only ever going to get you probable cause, so it's moving it just past that. We should also note that prosecutors in Washington, Errol, just yesterday dropped 3 very similar cases involving the reflecting pool and those that have been accused with vandalizing or tampering with it, because there just wasn't enough there.
Right. Okay. So for now, the reflecting pool controversy appears to be over. We'll see if it gets revived in some way. But there's another interesting topic I want to discuss with you, and that is the Senate Judiciary Committee will vote today on whether to advance acting AG Todd Blanche's nomination to be the full AG. 2 Republican holdouts say, all right, then they'll now back Blanche, but there are other Republican holdouts, and they really wanted to see Blanche kill this anti-weaponization fund. So what's really playing on?
And the big question here is this fund dead, or is this fund dead? And what I can tell you is that it's dead by Attorney General memo, but not dead by statute. What the senators got here as a concession is a rescission, but it is not a permanent firewall in the event of a future fund popping up. So a future attorney general, or even Todd Blanche himself, if he's confirmed, could decide to undo the rescission, could decide to create a new memo or new order, a new funding mechanism for this anti-weaponization fund, this $1.776 billion slush fund of sorts. So, what does this rescission do? What did these 2 senators, Cornyn and Tillis, get in terms of this negotiation? Well, it killed the government's sort of machinery behind putting the fund into place today. We also learned that there hadn't been a board or panel appointed to put the fund into place, that none of the money had actually been moved. It also narrows the apparent scope of the IRS tax immunity deal against the president and his sons. We now know that will only be retroactive, so it will not apply to any sort of future tax matters. It's just before the May 18th agreement was made, and it only applies to the named plaintiffs. So there was some speculation it could apply to the Trump family beyond Eric Trump, Don Jr., and President Trump. That's not the case. The Trump Organization also listed. Still, the underlying settlement here is unchanged. And we heard from the president just yesterday that he still thinks this fund is a good idea. So, Tillis and Cornyn might have won the headline, so to speak, for today, but it remains to be seen what will happen during the new Congress and whether or not this will be revived later down the road.
Such important context for people who may only be seeing the headlines without understanding what's really happening underneath. Great to have you on these Justice Stories, Nicole. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much.